Good morning, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here at this important conference, and I think the number of attendees speaks for itself in terms of the success of the conference. So it is a great pleasure to be here to say a few words as a new Commissioner for Health and Food Safety and speak to you a little bit about our vision and our journey, which is just beginning, towards a more sustainable Europe, a Europe that improves the health and the well-being of its citizens. And after all, I think that that is what everyone, European citizens, expect from us. Today, we all know, we're all aware that Europe is facing some very uncomfortable truths. The population is growing, yet natural resources are shrinking and biodiversity is disappearing. And I would say that we are faced with a number of paradoxes. Millions of citizens live in poverty, yet we waste a fifth of the food we produce. And half the adult population is overweight. We have committed to lead on the Sustainable Development Goals, but we must all realize we cannot deliver on these if we're not also committed to implementing major change. It is now becoming abundantly clear that a new, healthier, fairer, and more approachable and more sustainable approach to food systems is necessary. Business as usual, which we often like to think, is not an option when it comes to food production. And I believe that this doesn't only go for the consumers, it also goes for the producers. President von der Leyen has set a very ambitious agenda for a stronger, a greener, and a more democratic Europe. It is indeed a very great honor for myself to be part of this team, but I will share with you that I also feel it is a huge responsibility. A critical success, part of the success depends on delivering the new European Green Deal, which my colleague Janusz already has mentioned. And in this Green Deal, we want to make farming and food systems, which have a major part, talk about a vision for greater sustainability. This is what the Green Deal is about. It is inspired by European citizens who repeatedly call for concrete action to protect our environment and tackle climate change. It needs to address the challenges of sustainability in a universal way. It needs to recognize, and this is what it's all about, the links between healthy people, healthy societies, and a healthy planet. It sets ambitious targets for climate neutrality, carbon emissions, and zero pollution, alongside plans to support innovation and research, job inclusion, development, social inclusion, and equality. In short, what the Green Deal aims to do is to bring people and policies together, to build synergies and partnerships for a stronger, healthier, and a more united Europe. And I'm very much looking forward to working with all my fellow commissioners to bring this ambitious plan to life, and of course working with you, Europe's valued agricultural community. One of the key building blocks of this Green Deal is the new Farm to Fork strategy. And I'm delighted that this has fallen under my portfolio. I hold no illusions it's going to be a major task, but I must say to you that the more I'm reading about it, the more involved I become, the more the challenges are really interesting, and I think that it's something that we can work on together. European farming is famous for being safe, for being nutritious, and of high quality. It should now also become the world standard for sustainability. The Farm to Fork strategy that I will present will contribute to Europeans' climate change, protect the environment, and preserve biodiversity. It will ensure farmers' position in the value chain. It will also encourage sustainable food consumption and promote affordable and healthy food for all. And we will rely on your input to get the balance right, and member states, of course, to support to deliver it. I've already been asked a number of times, what form will this farm-to-fork strategy take? This in part will depend on the discussions which we'll be having over the next few weeks and months. On timing, the Commission aims to get the strategy in place by next spring of 2020. On the scope, we're clear. It needs to address each and every step of the food chain, from production and processing through to marketing, consumption, and international trade. We need to change the way we think about and the way we produce and consume without compromising on the safety, quality, and affordability of food. I want to make sure that this strategy accounts for the needs and concerns of all the different actors involved, in particular farmers, those working in the farm and food sectors. Our farm-to-fork strategy will be supporting our farmers. It will preserve their vital work and continue ensuring their livelihoods. It will invest on research and innovation. Sustainability cannot be achieved without our food producers being on board. It's important we're not to remember always that we're not starting from scratch from this endeavor. The concept of working to improve every step of the food chain from producers to consumers is not new in Europe. It lies at the heart of a large body of European initiatives, which have been designed over the years to protect, such as the safety and the integrity of the food chain, the quality of our food, the health of our citizens, plant health, and the health of welfare of animals. And as Janusz already mentioned, this would involve also looking at animal transport. Citizens in the EU today enjoy a high level of food safety, and our food system is recognized as an example of good practice. We need to continue to promote these ideas globally and ensure that they're properly implemented and enforced at home. Our new strategy will complement these rules and integrate them into a broader and more coherent framework for sustainability. Specific areas I have committed to take action on are pesticides, fertilizers, and the use of antibiotics. These are excellent examples of what we call a health in all policies approach. The need to collaborate and build accountability across sectors in order to bring about effective change. Pesticides are of major concern to our citizens, and I firmly believe that we can reduce their use and their risks in the EU. Dependency on pesticides is simply not sustainable. It is harmful for our planet and for our citizens. Our farmers should be able to choose the least dangerous option for human health and the environment. Through the zero pollution strategy in the European Green Deal, we will strive to reduce Europe's dependency on pesticides and protect citizens from exposure. I want us to agree on ambitious targets on pesticides and fertilizers to substantially reduce the risks associated with them. And in parallel, we need to stimulate and work on the development and use of alternative plant protection pesticides. On antibiotics, I want to reduce the number of antimicrobials used in farm animals to ensure that they remain effective in both humans and animals in the years to come. And because we spoke about One Health and health in all policies, the number of antimicrobials used in animals and in other sectors of health has led to one of the greatest global problems we are faced today, which is antimicrobial resistance. And this is impacting greatly on human health as well, then we're actually losing patients' lives to antimicrobial resistance. So this goes across horizontally. We need to work together. We need to reduce the number of antimicrobials also used in farm animals. Technology, innovation, and research into new farming methods and techniques will be crucial in our work to approach food and production more sustainably. The Common Agricultural Policy will be an important tool to help us achieve these targets, and I will work closely with all member states to match our ambition in their national strategic plans. Alongside this, we will consider targets for food waste to tie in with our circular economy. We will also work with member states on food fraud strategy to protect citizens and strengthen the single market, and on measures to improve animal welfare. This will be combined with the promotion of healthy choices and healthy living, clearer food labeling. By the end of this Commission's mandate, I want the sustainable choice to be the easy and the obvious choice. What is healthy for our planet is also healthy for our citizens. And the work that we will all do in these areas will bring about positive health outcomes for our citizens, and it will rely on the progress that we make in the Farm to Fork strategy. I want to just share with you an issue that is very close to my heart as my mandate as Commissioner for Health and Food Safety, and also one of my priorities, and it is our work on cancer and the Europe Beats Cancer Plan. I will be presenting this on the 4th of February on World Cancer Day. We'll be rolling out the beginning of the start of the discussions with stakeholders and patients to present a plan by the end of the year. But we must understand that a healthy diet is a key component of a healthy society, and the Beating Cancer Plan will be relying on the progress that we make on the Farm to Fork strategy. I spoke at the beginning of the health in all policies. By profession, I'm a clinical psychologist, child psychologist, and I have always been trained to see people and treat patients, not seeing individual symptoms, but as one. And I believe that this approach is also relevant to effective policy making. We cannot talk about public health, food safety, animal health, animal welfare, and plant health as being isolated subjects. They are one part and parcel of the same unit. They all impact on our quality of life. They all impact on social cohesion and competitiveness, economic growth, and long-term sustainability. We are, in fact, all of us, one health. Ladies and gentlemen, protecting our food systems is one of our generation's defining tasks, and we are at a critical moment in history. It's time, finally, to try and put the pieces of this puzzle together. The new Farm to Fork strategy is an opportunity to bring about change and leave a sustainable legacy for future generations. I would like us all to be on board together for this challenge. Our citizens expect from us, and we need to deliver. We need to deliver this transformation, and when doing so, we need to ensure that it is a just transition for all. We need to ensure that we leave no one behind. Our job for the next 5 years is to try and make this happen, to make sure we put Europe in the right track for a long and healthy future. We cannot afford to fail. We owe it to the generations that follow. And I will look very much forward to you working together on this ambitious plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioners. And it's good to hear that sustainability cannot be achieved without the food producers. I think everybody in this room knows that. And I'm sure many people will be very pleased to hear that the CAP budget will be defended and that farmers will be encouraged to take green action with carrots, not sticks. Let's hope that they're made in the EU.